Oh, welcome to the Sonia Podcast. I heard of this, but I'm gonna be honest, I did not know what this is. And I don't know if a lot of y'all heard of breadcrumbing. It in a relationship. Someone sent me this too. So it said, put it simply, breadcrumbing is stringing someone along. It typically happens in romantic relationships, in which it can pertain to the amount of attention, time, communication, and effect between partners. Breadcrumbing is the non-clinical term for an emotional manipulation tactic that involves one individual periodically giving another individual a small amount of what they want without giving them everything they want to keep them engaged in a relationship. The breadcrumber leads the other person on by acting genuinely inconsistent or dishonest about their intention. Instead of building and investing in a genuine relationship, the manipulator gives their partner just enough attention, time, gifts, etc. From a behavior standpoint, breadcrumbing is a form of intimate reinforcement, which is the delivery of a reward at a variable interval to keep someone coming back for more. An example of intimate reinforcements is gambling. When a person pulls the handle on a slot machine, they may only win 1 out of every 10 times. Since they never know for certain when they will win, they're compelled to keep trying because they expect a reward at any moment. The manipulator is giving the partners just enough random rewards to keep them coming back. This puts the manipulator in control of the relationship, allows them to engage with their partner on their own terms. Sometimes people engage in breadcrumbing because they have a low self-worth. Although breadcrumbers may appear confident, their behavior reflects a low sense of self-worth and lack of respect for others. They may want to take control of the situation in order to boost their self-esteem. Those who lead others on may also do this as a result of unhealthy attachment or previous trauma. If the manipulator experienced unhealthy relationship growing up, is also more likely they will continue dysfunctional dynamics like breadcrumbing. What does breadcrumbing someone involve? Example, breadcrumbing is the habit of sending text messages that hint of romantic connection only to pull back after one or two exchange. For example, someone texts you to set up a date, but then ghosts you, never respond again. Another example, they may only text you when they want something or late at night for sex, more known as a booty call, even though you express you want something other than a friend with benefits situation. Breadcrumbing can also occur through gift giving, whether sending a surprise bouquet of roses, an unexpected of chocolate, or showing up with a bottle of wine. The breadcrumbing can use gift as a means to gain a sense of true interest. So, according to a therapist, it is possible to leave breadcrumbs in a non-romantic relationship, as a boss keep giving their employees the promise of improved work conditions or greater pay to keep them hanging on to the job instead of leaving and looking for better options. Now, what's the impact of breadcrumbing? When someone breadcrumbs you, you may not pick up on it at first. When you're emotionally manipulated, it's difficult to gain the perspective need to see that's how you're being treated. The victim of breadcrumbing naturally feel confused. As time passes and the behavior becomes more obvious, the confusion can turn into sadness or anger. Sadly, those who are taken advantage of by breadcrumbers may suffer from a bout of low self-esteem. It's common for the victim of breadcrumbers to feel stupid for not seeing the true nature of their behavior soon. In some cases, a victim of breadcrumbing may also form an unhealthy dependency and make attempts to prove that they're worth as they wait for the next crumb of affection. Breadcrumbing typically result in a person staying in an undesirable relationship or circumstance for far longer than they would if they didn't receive occasional moment of positive reinforcements. How can you help with toxic people in your life? How to deal with breadcrumbing? Since it can be difficult to dissect whether you're being led on by someone else. It can be helpful to lean on your support system if you suspect someone is breadcrumbing you. Talk to a friend, a mental health professional who can give you an outsider perspective on the behavior. Another way is to gain clarity on a situation through journaling. Once you suspect breadcrumbing is occurring, take a step back to journal about the behavior. Is it in a thoughtful, non-judgmental way? Reflect on the behavior, how they made you feel. Journaling will help you gain clarity and objectively about the situation. Once you realize you've been led on, it's time to set healthy boundaries. If you feel safe doing so, you can do this by directly addressing the breadcrumber, asking them for consistency. For example, you may say, I feel very disappointed about our interaction. I realize that you've been breadcrumbing me and I deserve to be treated with respect. Doing this may open a dialogue between you and the breadcrumber that can either make them acknowledge and change their behavior or help you realize it's best to end the relationship altogether. Now, if you choose to end it, you can try something like, I don't have space in my life for toxic, manipulated behavior. I'm moving forward with my life, so please don't bother reaching out to me in the future. If you don't feel comfortable addressing the situation directly, you can try some space from the manipulator and engaging less frequently with them. For example, if they text you asking to hang out, you can deny that request as a way to set a boundary and give a hint that you are someone that they can take advantage of. Sometimes just reducing your exposure to the breadcrumbing behavior can help to reduce its power over your health. Ideally, you avoid getting deeply involved with breadcrumbs in the first place. You can do that by watching for red flags and the things you don't want in your relationship. In many cases, red flags pop up but are disregarded out of the desire to have a connection. If you think that you want to spend time with the person more than they want to with you, or that super friendly one day and cold distance another day, take note. Paying close attention to red flags and then openly talking about any concern with the person you are dating is the best way to encourage healthy dating interaction. When watching out for breadcrumbing, let the cliche talk is cheap guide you. What the other person is saying or doing is just as important as what they are saying. Always measure a person's actions over their words. So that's breadcrumbing, everybody. So if you're in a relationship and you feel like someone is breadcrumbing, you have opportunities to either speak to them directly and let them know this is something you're not going to tolerate, or speak to them and let them know that you're moving on. I'd like to thank you for listening to Sony Podcast. Please give it a 5-star review on Speakers, Apple, iHeart, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to your podcast at. Please share. You can call me here at v766752@gmail.com. You can follow me at http://podcast/wordpresses.com. You can follow my son Sounds on Instagram. He have an album out on Spotify and Apple. Follow Miss Carr. She have her own affirmation podcast. Follow TJVULCIAN, Black Girl in Orange. Cane Flex on SoundCloud. Female Reform. And have a blessed night.